Hello, everybody, and we are back. Jim and I are to discuss more of, I guess, wrestling. Well, wrestling in general with COVID-19. And today we brought a new person into the mix.
Yes, we brought in Rowdy Ross. How are you doing, Rowdy Ross?
I am doing good. How are all of you?
Okay.
I know you missed me last time.
Right. So, Bill, this has turned into an unofficial mini series.
Yeah.
I think because, to me at least, and I don't know if you agree or not, I just feel like it's really important to, like, for communication-wise and kind of document this period of time specifically with this, COVID-19 / coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
And, just to have something on it. And I really learned a lot last time with Josiah and how much better Canada has handled this than.
Well, doesn't Canada in general have better health care anyway?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Ross, if you heard what he was saying, I think even you would be like, oh my God, why the hell can't we do this? Anyway, Ross, you weren't here last time. So I kind of want you to give what we did last time was give a background of kind of transitioning into this new normal that we're in now. I kind of want you to just give your story, not necessarily based on wrestling yet, just the general story of like dates and how. Yeah, please.
Well, I've lost track of how long it's been going on, but my wife has been out of work for going on a month and a half now.
Now, time out, because I just want you to mention, can you say, you don't have to say the town name, but just give an idea of people where you are, because that played a lot into our recap.
Central Jersey. She works in Greenbrook, and we live in New Brunswick. I don't mind sending that out. It's fine. Yeah, so she works at a dentist's office, and they've been closed for about a month and a half, and may or may not be opening in the middle of May, but that still remains to be seen because we're still so far out from that. Mm-hmm. I haven't stopped work. It's been slower. I've taken a lot of half days. Haven't taken any days off or any. Well, actually, that's a lie. I took a day off for Resident Evil 3, but that's beside the point. I haven't missed any time from work. Work's been very slow, so I'm missing sales and money, but nothing's changed in that respect. I'm still, in work by 8:30. I'm home by 5:30, sometimes even earlier, depending on how slow the day is. But me personally, my weekend is now Sunday. We actually do nothing, absolutely nothing. No grocery shopping, no as little as possible. We stay in. We still do the grocery shopping. We do Saturdays for my mother-in-law, but now we have to wear the masks and everything that everyone's wearing. But yeah.
Can I ask a question before you go further? Now you had mentioned to you, it's a bit slower and you've been doing more. I mean, you've kind of been doing less at work. And by the way, everyone, don't forget the beginning is when we talk about the virus. We're probably not going to get right into wrestling because we want to get about living in this new normal. Were you encouraged by your work at all to be like, look, it's a bit slower. Is there any way that you could take less hours? Because we know that nothing's really going to happen.
No, that's never come up because even without the sales calls coming in, we're also kind of remodeling a little bit. So I'm helping, we've gotten a bunch of dumpsters that we're throwing out old. I sell doors and frames, and we sell locks. Any old locks that are kind of out of date, we've been just clearing out shelves. I drive the forklift, so if there's like a big batch of crap to throw out, I'm the one lifting it and dumping it in the dumpster. So there is stuff to do, even if it's not directly related to the sales that I usually make. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing is helping clean up, take the occasional phone call and fulfill the occasional order that comes in. But a lot of it's now, the manual labor of helping with the remodeling that we're doing at the office.
Another thing I noticed that you said in regards to your wife is that she's been, you know, she's not going into work since all of this. But you mentioned like they're saying in the middle of May. Is that her job saying that they already have a goal in mind here, or is that you guys kind of predicting?
No, they've picked a date. They have picked a date where they expect to be open. We're still a few weeks out from that, but without knowing what the governor of New Jersey winds up saying, I don't know how they can meet that without a full reopen order, because like dentists get all up in people's mouths and everything. Mm-hmm. And even if, let's say, May 1st, things open up, who's really going to be comfortable being that close to someone, especially in their mouth? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care what kind of protective gear you're wearing. It's still just going to be a skeezy thought in someone's head. And even in the broader scope, as much as I want everything to be normal, I know it's not going to be. So let's say by June, everything's open. Are people really going to be going to the movies in droves? Are people going to be going to restaurants? I don't know. I want to, but I know it's not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm. All right, so continue. So, you know, where are you now with everything? Just on, you know, on quarantine? What's going on?
Like I said, the only time I go to work, I come home, and then I'll go out Saturday morning for the essential grocery shopping for us and my mother-in-law. Other than that, we don't really make any recreational trips. I'll stop by if we want to get Wendy's. I'll do the drive-through, but we don't go out nearly as much as we used to.
Sure. It's been a month, maybe even a little bit more at this point. How has the grocery shopping been? Has it been easier or harder than, say,
I've hated it. Hated it.
But
it has gotten easier. The first couple weeks, you couldn't find any paper products. Still cannot find cleaner. Like, we get lucky every so often, but it's the more expensive kind because that's what people leave behind. What have we never been able to find? Like, we have to check.
Paper?
No, we've gotten lucky. You know, when we were down to one roll, we wound up going to Walgreens, and they had a bunch of single rolls that they set limitations on. But we managed to get a couple for that, and we've luckily been able to find the stuff for her mother too, so that's fine. But certain, you know, food things, like there's a certain kind of frozen pizza that we can eat on our diet. Week in, week out, it's hit or miss, but you know, we're stocked up, so I think I should be good. The meat is slowly starting to come back. I actually saw orange juice this morning, which is fucking rare. Why? That's the one thing I don't get. Cleaner, fine, it's a virus, you want to be protected. Paper towels, you need to clean stuff. Why orange juice? I don't get that one. That's like the first thing I noticed. Why?
And doesn't it go bad? It doesn't have that much of a long life. It's not like you can live on like a bottle of orange juice for 2 months or 3 months. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never heard.
I don't know how far out they're dated. Like, we just picked up heavy cream today, which is dated to the end of May, which is really weird. It seemed pretty far out. But, like, yeah, orange juice doesn't sit that long.
Right. So, like, why would that be the one that you were all about?
I don't know. It was one of the first things I noticed. Like, when it first started snowballing, we would start making little trips to, like, Targets and other grocery stores. And, like, everything, the juice section, like everything next to it, like the cheeses and the eggs, full juice, wiped. I have pictures of that somewhere on my phone, but Lysol spray, still not finding it. Lysol wipes, stuff like that. And meanwhile, my boss's girlfriend, she doesn't work. She's also like in her 60s, but she'll go out. She'll wait in line at 7:30 in the morning, and she picks up like the Costco multi-pack bullshit, and she's hoarding it. She'll send some of it to her daughter, who apparently her roommate works at a hospital, so I guess that works. But like every time she talks about, oh, I got this, this, and that, and I snuck this out of my cart, when you're supposed to limit the stuff you get, every time I hear stuff like that, it kind of pisses me off, because I have to struggle to find stuff for my mother-in-law.
Right.
My mother is kind of sort of immobile down in Florida. She gets stuff delivered, but I think of that when I hear about her and her daily trips to the store, just hoarding everything she possibly can.
Right. No, you're right. One thing that you mentioned that, Bill, I never even really thought of. I don't know if you have it all. Ross, you mentioned about your getting food for your diet. And I'm like wondering, that's got to be something that's tough for people to keep. Because, I mean, like me, I'm just, but okay, so like obviously, as we know from our previous episode of this, I've been ordering a lot from home because I can't leave because I was tested positive for the virus. Good news since then, I have talked to a doctor and I am no longer contagious apparently. So I can go out and start doing little things. But even when I was ordering things and like Ross, you're saying how the grocery stores aren't really that much better. Like if I'm not looking for brands anymore. I'm looking for just my
availability.
Product. Right.
Yeah, like frozen vegetables weren't an issue at first, but now they are. I guess people decided to start eating healthy.
No, well, but also frozen vegetables can last for a while. I even did frozen vegetables.
Oh my God!
I know.
I remember when I used to come over. Your freezer would be full of Elio's pizza and nothing else.
Yeah, well, it is still filled with pizza.
Okay.
We got pizza. We got bagels in the freezer. We got frozen grapes. Is that it?
Save some space and get pizza bagels.
I have some of those in there. That's also.
Of course you do. Yeah.
So, but how like you're talking about diet? How you're sticking? And even now that I'm even thinking about it, exercise in general.
That's unfortunately because the gyms are closed. I wasn't much of a gym rat. I'd go 2, maybe 3 times if I was feeling energetic in a week, but the gyms have been closed for over a month now. So I go back to what we're doing in work. There's a lot of heavy lifting involved in that. So I hate usually having to like clean and get dirty because deep down I'm a wuss, but I don't mind lifting like, oh, here's this heavy box full of old doorknobs. Cool. I'll take it because it's at least some sort of workout. Mm-hmm. Like people, they've watched me like with like a 40-pound box of whatever bullshit. I'll walk it to the dumpster, curling it as I'm walking, just because I need something to be lifting. My weight hasn't gone up, so that's a plus. It hasn't been going down either, but I'll live with what's going on. Right. Yeah, there's no. I think maybe Laura has an 8-pound dumbbell, which doesn't really do much for me. I can juggle that. I can juggle that comfortably. I'm not some kind of ripped Adonis, so if anyone's visualizing me, just picture Baron Corbin's lack of definition with a little bit more weight too. Just not as many tattoos because I have none. But yeah, I lift heavy where I can, but there's no cardio. What am I going to do? Run to the garbage and run back? That's pretty much all it is.
Yeah, and I think not only you, but others probably are having a hard time. A jogger that would run every morning. That I know some people still do this stuff, by the way. Like I know, but for the most part, people aren't.
I just this morning, this afternoon, coming home, driving through the park, just because I haven't done anything recreational, so I just wanted to see the park.
Right.
Driving through, all the parking lots are blocked off with cones, but there were definitely people parked on the outskirts near the houses, and they'll jog through. A couple of them had masks on, a couple of them didn't, but people are skirting it as much as they can just to get a little bit of fresh air and exercise.
Now I have one other question for you, Ross, because I have no idea if you know this, and quite frankly, I don't want to be alarming either in regards to this. But apparently, and I don't think this has not I'm pretty sure that this is real. Apparently in New York, within the last couple of days, we had our first 2 cats apparently had COVID-19.
I saw that, and I would think that would be getting so much more press. I don't understand, like, why cats? And I think I heard of one dog in Korea.
I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know where I'm going with this. You have a dog.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think things should be done? Like as far as, I guess, doggy testing, cat testing.
I mean, clearly there is some sort of pet test if they're coming out and saying that 2 cats have tested positive. I mean, you've been here. Fozzie always coughs anyway when he gets too excited, or if he drinks his water, too fast. So it's there, but there is that extra little. Is he coughing more now than he was a month ago? Some days he's better than others, but I'm not thinking anything's wrong with him because his energy otherwise is fine. He has a few new toys that he is exhaustingly playing with. He will pick it up, throw it himself. He plays fetch with himself. It's kind of sad.
Oh, God.
Like it's like he has no friends. It's like a kid in a corner just bouncing a ball against the wall.
I mean, when you guys go out, he has to take a pill to calm himself down. So it all checks out to me.
Oh, and believe me, because Laura's been home this whole time, the day she has to go back, I can only imagine how bad. Like, even leaving him for 2 hours on a Saturday morning, he doesn't whimper that much, but he does. But I can only imagine what the 8, 9, 10-hour days of her back and work. We have ordered a fresh supply because he hasn't needed them, but we've ordered a fresh supply of, I believe it's melatonin. Is the melatonin?
Well, melatonin looked though as sleep. I thought that was a sleep thing.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
I think melanin is the dark pigment in skin. But anyway, I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
Sure. I guess the other thing that I have a question in it, because obviously the pet thing, it's very, very new. We're recording this on April 25th. At
the day before I turned 35.
Look at that.
Wow.
I don't feel a day over 40.
I guess my question to you is, even though we don't have any studies or any like real information with this virus in regards to pets, are you guys going to not order these toys until you guys get more information on that?
Well, to be honest with you, we just got him 2 toys within the last 2 weeks.
But you didn't know about the cat thing and the dog thing probably at that point.
The dog thing, yes, I did. Because
you did? Okay.
The dog thing in Korea was at least a couple weeks ago. It was just some quick TMZ headline, and literally I haven't. Yeah, it's TMZ, but whatever. I got the same headline about the cats from TMZ, so it's just something to look at. We do wash the toys before he gets them, just because, shipping in a box and stuff. Even with what's called a bark box. This isn't an ad, but if they want to send me money, go ahead. It's a monthly subscription box where it's like themed, and I think next month it's supposed to be Scooby-Doo or whatever. He'll get like Scooby-Doo chewables and Scooby-Doo plush toys and crap to chew up. We always we'll cut the tags off and maybe like dust them off or something just to make sure there's nothing extra on them. You can't really wash a plush, but like the rubber toys that he gets to chew on, we do always wash them off. So I guess we were always a little bit cautious.
Now even more, I would think.
Laura more than me. But yeah, we try our best, but we're not going to spoil him where necessary.
Well, the weird thing when it comes to pets to me is that they may have this is because, unlike me and you, like, it's not like they can't just say to you, Ross, I don't feel good. Here's what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
You're going to have to you and your wife are going to have to kind of figure it out, which is weird because you don't know really what to look for. And you mentioned that he coughs anyway. So, like, that's really not very helpful.
Yeah, and then some days are better than others, and it's like, do we panic and bring him to the vet? He will be due sometime soon, just for his normal like 6 months checkup. So we'll bring it up. We have brought it up with the coughing. It's like, oh, he's just excitable. Okay, thank you, and that's it.
I wonder if they get the same tests as humans. Like,
Yeah.
What up the whole nose thing?
well, there's another way too, but either one. Like, I wonder if it's the same thing.
I'd have to imagine, but I don't know that dogs have sinuses, because isn't it like actually like a sinus scraping, or I'm ignorant to the whole thing?
No, I'm not really that sure, to be honest with you.
Okay, that's probably gross to talk about. So,
well, but it is something to look out for. Certainly by the time me and Bill do this again, with whether it's you or Josiah, we might have more answers on that. Bill, give us your update on what's been going on with you since the last time we were on with this virus.
Well, since the last time, knock on wood, everyone's still healthy. My brother, who is a police officer, he has to go out, so he's part of that, first responders. I haven't really heard anything as far as, like where he works, if it's gotten bad or not. We've been doing a lot of online shopping to groceries, but also birthdays, because my youngest nephew, his birthday is next week on Thursday. So, like, we've been doing this thing where, like, if a package comes, we open it, we take it out, and then we throw it, like, in the recycling right away. Because I think that's what they had advised if you get packages.
Right.
I
think that is what they do. You're right. I remember hearing that. And, my mother right now is in a nursing home, and I'd asked them, because Mother's Day's coming up. Mm-hmm. I asked them, if I got my mother a gift, can I just send it there directly? Like, why would it even come here? And what their process is of giving, the people gifts. Mm-hmm. And they mentioned they make sure it's wiped down and all of that. So, yeah, I think you're doing the right thing there with your nephew's gifts. That's what I'm trying to say.
As far as work, I mean, I'm fortunately still getting paid for it. But I haven't really been able to do any work because we've only had like 2 kids participate the entire time since, like we had our quote-unquote spring break back in the middle of April. So I haven't really been able to do any kind of like work, but like around the house I've been doing stuff left and right. Like this week we got a new deck put on. We had like professionals do it. So
I'm surprised they even came out.
Yeah, well, the thing is, they never had to come inside.
Do they wear masks and stuff? Or just because they're building a deck, I guess they'd have to anyway?
Actually, they didn't.
Which was really? Weird.
Yeah.
That's surprising to me too, Russ.
I should report them to their union reps.
Although one of them did look a little like Sam Elliott, so I'm not really sure if I want to report him or not. But
at least it wasn't Chris Elliott with his strong hand from Scary Movie.
But
Sam Elliott's the guy with the mustache, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had this guy had the mustache. But honestly, knock on wood, everything's been okay.
Okay, good. In case I sound a little weird during certain parts of this, I am putting lozenges in my mouth just because one of the things I am still suffering is throat and the esophagus problem, which I don't know if I mentioned. If I had it, did I have that last time?
I don't remember if you did or not.
Well, I have an esophagus problem now, so that's new and that's fun. So anyway, a lot of things happening in pro wrestling. Because apparently we learned in our last episode that pro wrestling is an essential business. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, I people, complained about that, but I think that governor's just insane because a few days, after we recorded that special, he also declared that in a way he kind of hinted that surfing is essential. So I was like, okay, I guess it does make sense why you made pro wrestling essential if you think surfing is going to be essential.
So Matt Riddle is really happy.
Yeah.
Because he looks like a surfer. And Nakamura as well.
So now, with Florida being open, I guess you would say, at least for pro wrestling, and I do think that they're opening some beaches in Florida in general.
Yeah.
None of this is being recommended, by the way, by scientists or anything like that. But I mean, they're still doing it. So, is WWE's now running every event live? All three of the shows?
Actually, go ahead.
I was going to say I believe they are, because they were told they were told. Fuck, I don't remember. Never mind. I believe they are live.
Well, actually, what I was going to say, and I'm glad you brought this up, because Meltzer put out the schedule that they have, WWE has. And they have, because April's pretty much done. They're filming as we're recording today, and then they're going to record Monday and Wednesday. When they get to May, they're going to have 6 days where they're going to be doing recordings.
Jesus.
June, they're going to have 7 days where they're going to be recording. And as of right now, they only have 1 day for July.
Okay. AEW also taping now. That's been made official, I don't know, a couple days ago. What's their schedule look like? Do we know?
I have not seen a schedule yet. So
if there's no schedule, then we have to assume that they're going weekly live.
Possibly.
Okay. I know Impact recently had some tapings, but that was a bulk, and I'm sure that's gonna carry them through 4 weeks at least. I was surprised that your Impact was doing some tapings. Bill, what about you?
Yeah. I mean, well, they were supposed to have had a pay-per-view last weekend.
Right.
But, and I said this jokingly on Facebook, Impact Rebellion, too big for 1 week. So they split it into 2 weeks, with the second week coming out this Tuesday.
Right. Which I get only because that's content.
Yeah, it
is.
Why
kill your content for just 1 week? Just get 2 weeks out of it.
Mm-hmm. After that, I'm not really sure. I know Ring of Honor has not done any filming. They're actually like we talked about last episode. They're paying their employees, which is very good, considering well, they're owned by the Sinclair Broadcasting Group, so they could do that. Yeah, it's just interesting that Impact would join in on the recording, but in a way, it makes a little bit of sense because they were hyping a pay-per-view up before all this happened. So, I guess their thinking is, well, we got to get this out of the way, so let's just do it, get it over with. And then what we do after, we'll figure it out.
Ross, what about you? Are you surprised WWE, AEW, and even Impact has been taping during this pandemic?
To be honest with you, no. And it's because if they were to go away, and they went away for 2 months, 3 months, however long it is, it would be, maybe WWE would be okay, but a show like AEW that's still new, still fresh, and I would venture still hasn't even found really its footing with an audience, because there's still room to grow. You're losing that 3 months, and you have to pretty much remind people, hey, we're back, we're coming back, we're here, everything's good, come back and watch us, we're back. So it's almost like they have to keep it fresh in people's minds. Like, a a show like a regular TV show can show reruns. They can replay old seasons and throw on ads of, don't miss our return this day or whatever.
And I think that's why so many people are more mad with WWE, because you can easily put some kind of compilation special on NXT every Wednesday, and then you can do. Like I said, I don't know what their contract looks like. If the reason they have to be live is because they are contractually obligated, and Bill, we kind of talked about this last time on the last episode that that they probably didn't go to NBC or Fox, and I was like, NBC I think would be fine with it. I don't think Fox would.
Right.
I still kind of stick with that, but I don't know. There's still a part of me that's still surprised by it. And Ross, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to add that little bit in there.
No, I never have anything worthy to add, so you can cut me off whenever. No, I'm kidding. I'm not surprised because you got to keep it fresh in people's minds, and in some respects, it's a distraction. But then you get around to actually watching the product with no fans, and that in and of itself is distracting. For me, but we can get into that later. But it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. If AEW had stopped, they'd have an uphill climb in regaining that audience. Even if they did just being the elite every week, it's still not wrestling. It's just a sketch show.
I also question if they just stopped, if eventually they would lose their TV deal. Like that there's an out in the contract. Well, if you're not providing content, we have the right to get out of this.
Oh, there's always that chance, but there's always that chance that a pandemic that shut down the facilities would overrule that. But they chose not to even challenge it, and both shows are running. Every show is running except Ring of Honor, I guess.
Right.
New Japan stopped completely, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they canceled all their May shows.
Double or Nothing is still happening, apparently. Right? Isn't that correct?
Yeah, that
Bill?
is correct.
And is it live or is it going to be taped? That's the question. The answer I don't really know.
I'm not sure. I want to guess it's going to be taped, but I could be wrong on so many levels.
I mean, we already know WWE's Money in the Bank pay-per-view is going to be happening as well. The real question, though, is, again, should they be happening? Bill, why don't you chime in? Let's see what you think.
Well, the news is they have filmed the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. And those were taped at the headquarters in Connecticut at Titan Towers. And they're making this whole thing of, like, climb the corporate ladder. So the inner kid in me sort of wants it to be like Double Dare with Mark Summers hosting it. So,
okay.
I would think, with the exception of the 2 ladder matches, there might be a chance that the other matches are going live.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not going to be that many people there if the ladder matches have 6 people in them, and then you count for however many referees are going to be involved. So if they do like 3, 4, 5 other matches that probably won't have that many people involved, I think they might do this one live.
Okay. Ross, what do you think?
I'm leaning toward going live just for the handful of matches, because the actual workload of the singles matches, so to speak, wouldn't be too great. You can even have the commentary already done for the Money in the Bank matches. Obviously, it's going to be edited. You can get all that out of the way. Mm-hmm. So, in essence, you only have the people working, 2 hours? If that?
Yeah.
So yeah, WrestleMania was pre-taped, and I think they did it over the course of a couple days, not the 2. I'm saying longer than that. But if you only have a one afternoon or a 1 day card with 4 regular matches, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that live.
The one thing I will say is at least WWE in this case kind of has this angle with climb the corporate ladder. Like, it's something we haven't really seen. But AEW, on the other hand, I'm a big AEW fan, obviously, but it's going to be hard. It would be, and I was looking forward to Double or Nothing. I don't know what they do to warrant I guess I'm assuming $40 price tag. And also I don't think that, look, we're talking about pay-per-views, so we're no longer talking about the networks and their relationships. I don't think either of them need to happen, and more so probably AEW's in this case. Because I just don't know how you're going to... Last time I said that I think at least WWE is more watchable without fans. I definitely still stick to that. AEW, on the other hand, now the no fans thing, probably in like the last couple weeks, like the last week or two of the clips I saw, now it's starting to bother me. And I just don't think it's necessary for Double or Nothing to run unless they have some weird gimmick like the WWE's doing with Money in the Bank and all that. Bill, what do you think?
I mean, you're sort of right with AEW, like with the audience, because it gets to a point where you've seen Billy and Austin Gunn for the 400th time. And it's
how many people more do they need Brody Lee to squash?
Well, yeah, that's true.
I get rising in the rankings, but okay.
Mr. Brody Lee.
Mr. Brody Lee, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, because with WWE, their advantage with WWE is they can use the commentators as the audience. Like, a perfect example would be last night with SmackDown. The Triple H 25th anniversary celebration.
I'm going to throw up right now.
Well, no. It wasn't a major part, but it was like, Shawn Michaels came out and he's like, well, we sent invitations to hundreds of people, and, well, as you see. And then Hunter goes, Cole and Graves are here, and there's a camera of them waving. So it's like, okay, you can use them, to a degree to be the, the audience.
Bill, which direction was Shawn Michaels looking in?
Oh, God. I think to his left.
Okay. Both eyes or just one?
Oh, God.
He deserves it. All right, anyway, Ross, what about you? Do you think either of these shows should be running?
Back when the question of should WrestleMania happen was going on, I was of the opinion that if there was ever a time to stop or at least reset stuff, WrestleMania would have been it. And it's kind of like the highest point on their calendar, so it's something they should get out of the way, so to speak.
Because we don't know when it's going to end either.
Exactly. Neither of these shows needs to happen so much. Like you said, AEW less so, at least Money in the Bank, is sort of a traditional thing, and you get the briefcase, and they have the creative spin on it to at least warrant people caring about those 2 matches. But it's going to get to a point where if we get toward SummerSlam, I figure we'll cover this eventually. I have not watched a full wrestling show since WrestleMania.
Which is amazing to me when I learned of this. Mm-hmm. Because I've watched, except for last night, I watched every SmackDown since the pandemic.
See, you said it just before. I don't get how it's more enjoyable without the crowd.
Because the fans are annoying, I think, at least in my mind. Because here's the thing. I went and I watched on Hulu. I was like, what was the last WWE event like with fans? And I would have done the same with AEW if I had the access to go back to it. For some reason, I got really curious, and it was the week before the Austin appearance, and I couldn't get through the first hour. I was like, I'm done at about the 40-minute mark. And I mean, look, the show's never been great, but it's just more watchable to me. I don't know how to explain it. It feels more like a TV show. You don't have, I don't know. It's just I know I'm in the minority with this, where that people are like, let's have fans for WWE. I'm like, no, I probably will stop watching as proof of my my Hulu experiment. I don't know what it is. It's just, I guess I just think the current fans are annoying.
And you don't find the AEW fans annoying?
Well, I did say that, no, I like the AEW fans, but I was okay, as I mentioned, about the no fans thing with them until very recently. Which now I'm changing my mind on that, because for them, maybe, I just feel like the AEW fans add stuff and the WWE fans don't, if that makes any sense. Again, maybe that's part of my...
So you think it's on the fans, like, so the writing and presentation hasn't changed much. So you
Correct.
Do you think the fans were too disengaged, like they didn't care about what was going on?
That's probably part of it. That's yeah, you know what? I think you might have nailed it. That might be one of the reasons. Yeah, that like they just seem like I don't know.
I get it, because like, so let's rewind to when everything was back to normal. You'd go to you'd know the show coming up was in Chicago. You expected a hot crowd, so even a mediocre show comes off even that much better. Then you turn around, oh, Raw this week is in Corpus Christi, Texas. That's going to be a chore to watch. To me, every week is Corpus Christi now because there's no reactions. So it's been a chore to watch.
But there's also bad reactions too.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably what it probably makes me be like, oh yeah, this WWE with no audience is definitely, like I said to Bill when we were talking about WrestleMania last time, I'm not saying it was good. I'm not saying it was a great WrestleMania. I'm just saying it was watchable, and that if we were living in a normal world, pre-virus, and WrestleMania was happening, there's no chance in hell I was watching that event. No chance in hell. That's all. Like I said, I don't know.
Here's a question, and this goes back to WrestleMania. So WrestleMania was being built before everything crashed.
And it was like the shittiest card, which is...
Well, here's the thing. They were building toward AJ Styles and Undertaker. They were building toward John Cena and The Fiend. Do you think either of those gimmick matches happened? Or do you think both of those matches would have been strictly in the ring?
Undertaker's would have definitely been in the ring.
Yeah.
Probably Cena's would be too, now that I'm thinking about it.
So you think they okay. No, I don't doubt that. But I'm wondering, like, yeah. Would they have tried something with the Fiend? Fiend more so. You said Undertaker first, like absolutely Undertaker. But I was
because he can't stay home.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, they are selling dirt from the Boneyard match on WWE.
Oh, fuck off!
I'm not kidding.
Well, how is it any different than cutting up the ring mat from WrestleMania 12 and selling a Shawn Michaels plaque?
True.
Anyway,
Let me see.
now I got off track because of this.
Sorry.
Bill, was the last thing we were talking about here?
Talking about
Dirt.
Double or Nothing, and if it should go on,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, like I said, I'm less okay. Granted, there's time where AEW can think of some crazy gimmick that might be interesting, but I think it would be a lot. Especially, it would take a lot for me to be interested, and especially paying the $40
Yeah, they're in a tougher position. WWE has their network. That's all established. Even if no one wants to buy Money in the Bank on a standard pay-per-view, you at least get the 1.5 million subscribers. You got their $10 a month. Mm-hmm. They at least have that covered. AEW has a much harder sell. Mm-hmm. And it's being shown that less people are watching
wrestling.
Less people are watching wrestling, especially now with no crowd. So to try and sell them a full price pay-per-view of no crowd, WWE, at least in the last, with WrestleMania and now, is at least trying something different with pre-recorded and whatnot. With AEW, I know there was the challenge laid down for the elite deletion, or however they're calling it. Has that been accepted? Because if you were going to do if you were going to do a pay-per-view, why not have that one pre-recorded match? Though then you run the risk of people saying, well, you're doing that because WrestleMania just did it twice. Mm-hmm. Has it been accepted, or is it still like just being teased?
I have no idea, because unfortunately I missed most of AEW this week. Was it? And then I think because this week I was sick, I was like ready for AEW. And then all of a sudden, I started getting the chills at about like 5:30, big time, to the point that I didn't want to move. And then I was like, by 7:30, I'm like, oh, I'm still not feeling good. I was like, I'm not watching AEW tonight. I want to, but
all you need is a little orange juice, like Orange Cassidy, and you'll be fine.
I don't think Jericho's accepted, but I saw that Matt Hardy did challenge Sammy Guevara. So I'm wondering if he's going to try to challenge each member of Inner Circle until
he gets to Jericho.
Mm-hmm. So I did find the dirt thing that I mentioned. It's actually part of the WrestleMania Undertaker Boneyard plaque.
Okay. I don't know. For some reason, it feels better as a plaque. I didn't know what they were doing.
What do you think they were just selling bags?
Put it in a bag. Put it in a bag. Yeah, absolutely.
How about this? Forget it's a plaque. What if it was a commemorative urn filled with real dirt from the match? Would you be okay if it was like an urn?
I don't know. Because I feel like the Undertaker hasn't really used the urn gimmick.
No,
then again, I'm not watching, so like it's
not since.
Yeah, so I don't really care that much with the urn. So yeah.
And the price isn't that bad, to be honest.
Yeah, what is it? Let's hear.
$199.90.
Yeah, $74.99. And you can pay in 4 installments of $18.75.
It's a fucking QVC.
Pretty much.
Imagine the person
order in the next
that uses the. Imagine the person that uses their stimulus check to get that. Okay. Let's see. What do we got next on topics here? Okay, so one thing that I'm the most surprised that hasn't happened, and I don't think WWE and AEW can or should do this, but I do think companies like Impact and Ring of Honor should do this. If I'm not mistaken, and Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, okay. Impact, Ring of Honor, and maybe even MLW, all their wrestlers are under contract.
Yes, they are under contract.
So during this pandemic, I don't know why they're not doing like something online for like a question and answer. People pay to go to the question and answer via Zoom. I don't know if either of you two know that
I do.
Application. Yeah, I figured you probably do. Do you use that for your school?
Yeah, I have used it for work.
Right.
So honestly, I'd never heard of it until this whole thing started. So.
No one ever heard of it until this thing started.
Right. No one ever heard of it. Because if you're contracted, this is something for you to do, like for the company. So I just feel like I don't know why they're not doing that. Now, I do understand if they're under contracts that are under a pay per appearance, because then I would be like, oh, yeah, don't do it for that. Mm-hmm. Don't waste it on that. But, like, for Ring of Honor, they're just doing nothing. Now, granted, Some people will have more interest than others. You know, like a Rob Van Dam will get more for his question and answer versus some Ring of Honor lower card guy. Because I don't know too many Ring of Honor wrestlers anymore. Am I wrong, or am I missing something that wouldn't benefit these companies? And I've not heard anyone else suggest this either, which makes me think that I'm missing something here.
I don't really know, to be honest.
Or do you guys just don't think it's a good idea for some reason?
All right, so you're mentioning Ring of Honor, you're mentioning Impact, you're mentioning MLW. Who there do you think would warrant... I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Who there do you think would achieve the interest in, hey, Friday night at 8, we're having a live Q&A with Marty Scurll? Anyone how many?
I definitely there's a lot of people that would go for Marty Scurll.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
And look, Ross, even if I know you're saying, and I get what you're saying, because there are definitely people out there that no one would care about. Make a story. Give.
Okay, maybe I picked the wrong example with Marty.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Okay.
But no, look, Ross, but I get what you're saying. So you don't need to give another example because it's just it fits everything. Then make a profile. Not only will he talk about wrestling, he also likes football, and he could talk about that, and like go outside the wrestling box too, and tell him what his likes are, and like first, and hell, you know, the women. I'm sure some guys will just pay for it just because of who it is. So again, why is this a bad idea, and why is no one thinking of this for these promotions?
Hard to say.
How much would it cost them?
My brain actually goes to, why not have some of the guys like stream on Twitch? I know a bunch of wrestlers stream on Twitch now. Like have them go on there and like take donations and shit.
I mean, that's kind of the same thing of what right. Around that same area.
But that's my avenue.
Right. Okay. Bill, help me out here. Why is no one suggesting this? What am I missing?
Well, I mean, the Twitch thing is a very good idea. I actually think that would work. The problem is, and I think
even the Q&A.
Yeah.
Why would
the problem is, you know, how much would you charge? Because you don't want to charge too much. Because right now there are people that aren't getting that much money. But at the same time, you don't want to be too cheap where, like, I'll pick somebody from Impact, like Willie Mack, with all due respect to Willie Mack, I actually like him. Like, do like $20 for a Q&A, you know? That would probably be considered a ripoff.
Now, how about this? I just thought of this. How about this to add to my idea? Not only do you get access in the Q&A, you get a Willie Mack shirt.
Okay, there you go.
The only thing that's bad about that is that there is the shipping problem. I don't know if these wrestling promotions are having any trouble shipping their stuff out. I know for me, hell, I ordered a vaporizer, like...
Right. Now, I know as of late, wrestlers have been signing up on Cameo to...
I don't know. I don't think I know what that is.
So Cameo is a bunch of celebrities. You can pick from a list of celebrities, and you can pay them. They all have their different price, but you can pay them to pretty much record any message to anyone. So if I wanted to, he's not on the site, but if I wanted to,
like a happy birthday.
Yes,
Yeah.
but if I wanted to, I could pay Triple H. He's not on the site, but I could pay Triple H to call you on your birthday. But yeah, that idea, and apparently like Big E is on there. Other wrestlers are on there. Hey, don't knock it. But yeah, things like that.
They've offered services like that before. I don't know if it was called Cameo. There are definitely other services that this has happened with. So that's not new.
We can have a roast.
What?
We can host a roast.
We can host a roast?
A roast, like a Comedy Central roast of people.
On who, though? Like, who are you having in mind?
Well, no, they have the list here. They've got, who do they have? Gilbert Godfrey, Colin Mockery, Jesus Christ.
What?
No, I'm serious.
What are you talking about, Ben?
Is this on Cameo?
Yes!
Ross, can you please verify this? I'll be right back.
Wait, what list are you reading?
So I was scrolling through the
They would roast
site,
Jesus?
And they have a thing called Host a Roast.
Okay.
And then you could pay someone, I guess, to host a roast. And one of the people is a YouTube entertainer named Jesus Christ.
Can I hire him to host a christening?
For $28? Who knows?
Sounds like a good deal to me. I didn't know about that part, but like I know Gilbert Godfrey was on Cameo. I knew Colin Mockery was on Cameo. I'd pay him to do like a fucking Who's Line game with me. But
gosh, yeah, I would in a heartbeat.
Yeah, though I was always partial to Ryan. But yeah, I know Big E is on there, and I know there's some other indie wrestlers that are on there. But like I think Rob,
I'm surprised they allow Big E on there. Now that I'm thinking about it,
I don't see why not. I mean, wrestlers have their Twitch channels; they do it under different names.
Yeah, but those aren't. I would think a lot of them aren't under a contract to somewhere.
What do you mean?
Like
Big E is contracted to WWE. I would say the same thing if an AEW person was on there, because I assume would be contracted.
I can Bill, if you're there, I'm sure I'd have to imagine someone from I think Billy Gunn is.
But he's not an active wrestler.
Just pass it. Bret Hart is $150.
There you go.
Hold on. I just saw some AEW people on here too.
That's insane to me that those two companies would let them do this without getting any kickbacks to the company.
Supplemental income.
For $50, you could have Sammy Guevara.
There you go.
Because it's not like Ring of Honor where they're not running, and I was like, I would get that.
Yeah.
That's so weird to me. All right.
MJF is $500.
Oh my God!
I heard. Well, yeah, it's the gimmick.
It's the gimmick.
Yes, that's true. That is true.
I heard a story that there was some kind of convention or autograph thing where Sting was charging $150 for autographs. That might not be the right number. That's not the point. MJF, who was sat right next to him, charged $151 because he wanted to be the most expensive autograph there, and apparently it worked. And people were buying his autographs.
You know what? Good for him. That's a great idea, and he deserves. I like when good ideas get rewarded.
You have Ryback for $250.
Yeah, I don't know what he's smoking to think he's worth that.
I wish they had like a top 5. Like, here's our top 5 sellers. Please tell me they do.
They only have like featured and new.
Who's featured? Because more than likely the featured people. Give me the first 3 featured, because those people probably paid to be featured.
Okay, Tony Rica, who I have no idea. I think
that sounds like someone that would need to get paid. That needs to pay to get featured. Okay, cool.
James Ellsworth.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see him paying for.
Does he come with an? Does he come with an age requirement?
Oh, by the way, Ross, are you coming to my party later this week?
Do I want to know?
Yes, the Velveteen Dream is over party.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
I need to see proof, though.
Oh no.
No, I know.
I've heard the trip, actually.
I actually have a feature. I have a different featured list than what Bill has. So.
Oh, so then maybe it rotates.
Yeah,
maybe. I have Sean Astin from Lord of the Rings and Rudy. Jim O'Hare. It says he's from Parks and Rec.
Yep.
Michael Rappaport. This Larry Thomas, a.k.a. the Soup Nazi. And Chris Hansen.
We could have Zeus for $100.
Maybe this is something to look into later. You know what? All of my stimulus check is going to this site. That's what's going on.
I think Rey Mysterio is on here. I want to see how much he charges.
Since we are talking, by the way,
$150
on the coronavirus special, did either of you two have any problems getting your stimulus check?
Nope.
I'm still waiting for mine, and what I heard...
I was going to say, I feel like that you should be concerned about that.
Look,
Ross, how long ago did you get yours about?
Yeah,
2 weeks.
That sounds about right for me, too.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, we got a message on the Friday that the money has arrived and that it would be in the account by that Wednesday. And on that Wednesday, it was there. It comes however you got your tax refund.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's nice. They sent you all those messages. I just woke up and checked my bank account. It was like, here it is. I was like, where did this extra money come from?
I guess, did you, not to get into the details,
sure, of course,
but we opted, I don't know why, because I think because it came quicker, we opted for like the direct deposit card that they offer through TurboTax. Yeah, so it was TurboTax that messaged us.
Oh.
So I guess like your banks wouldn't give a shit, but it would just show up the one day.
Right. All right.
Bill, how did you receive your refund? Was it physical check or was it direct deposit or?
Oh, it's going to be physical check, but
that's why.
Yeah, like it's taking a little long. Like Ross said, if you filed your check, like your taxes electronically and got your money back electronically, then you were going to get the money like that. If you did it and you got it, like you got your checks in the mail, then it would take a little longer to get your stimulus check.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like anyone, because I'm sure every state has a process that's probably a little bit different. Maybe I'm wrong. Of like, if you didn't get your stimulus check, here's what you have to do. So we're telling you now that the people on this show, 2 out of the 3 got their stimulus check. That one person should probably look into the stimulus check.
Mm-hmm.
You think?
I mean, yeah.
I think there is a tracker that you can look into, like a website. I think it probably goes off like your social or something.
So there it is. We have confirmed some stimulus checks have come and some have not. Where do we go here in the future when it comes to pro wrestling? What do we? I mean, granted, we don't really know what's happening in, your local town, but I mean, clearly we know they're going to continue to run since they've been deemed essential.
Mm-hmm.
But even if things open up, and I think Ross, you might have touched on it, and if not Ross, I think Bill, you might have. If things opened up tomorrow and they said we have lots of tests, with we have the antibody test that we have enough for everybody, we can handle anyone that comes into the hospital and they will be well taken care of and will be recovered. There's a good chunk of people that are not going to want to go out still.
Right.
At what point do you think people would feel comfortable to go out? Because I would say that would be when the wrestling promotions and probably even sporting events, which again, I'm realizing how little sports have to do with my life during all this, because I don't miss them. What do they have to do?
Laura's dying without baseball.
I mean, look, yes, Ross, baseball's like one of the only sports I can actually watch.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, if you were like, baseball's gone forever, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'm fine, honestly. And
I can't believe, Ross, I don't know if you're like me, but I can't believe how little sports has meant to me during all this.
Yeah, and like I keep hearing, a lot less people are buying cable and stuff, and I'm hearing how ESPN's subscriber numbers are going down because there's no sports. They got nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's same with me. Like, I enjoy baseball. I'd be a little bit upset, especially I've watched baseball my whole life, but if football and basketball and hockey were to go away tomorrow, cool.
I remember even like the other day, I gave a big when I saw like the NFL draft was trending.
Right, they're still doing. I think it was just this past week. How presumptuous of them! They don't know when the hell they're going back in.
Well, I think they're confident because they know the great Vince McMahon is part of the restart of the country.
Oh, if he was worried about football being essential, he wouldn't have done what he did to the XFL and get sued for it. Yes, he's part of the committee because he is one of those entertainment entities that I guess it helps that he's friends.
They're essential.
Yes, I know. Believe me, everyone I work with knows I'm a fan, and when that news came out, they had a poke at me for it. But
sure, of course, I would have.
Yeah, I know.
I just want
Dana
White's Island.
I rolled my eyes as much as everyone else did.
I feel like, and Russ, I don't know, maybe you can give your 2 cents, because like there's like maybe 1 or 2 things I like on that program on that programming right now. But I know that you're not invested now, but you were like, it almost feels like they're doing so much that it's starting to become really hard for those hardcore fans to defend them. Not so much on the storylines or the wrestling part of things, but more morally.
Yeah, the pushing to be an essential business went on the same day Linda McMahon's Trump organization donated like $18 million to Florida.
And then the next day everyone was released.
Yeah, and then releasing all the people and
well, no, the fact that happened one day and the next day, there are releases.
Right.
I wonder if that money could have prevented some of those releases.
Well, I don't know if it's as simple as that, but then they're still using Drake Maverick. And that's kind of like...
Just let him go back to Impact.
Well, he can't for 90 days anyway, so...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Someone's doing a countdown of 90 days. I forgot who it was.
I think
Who?
EC3.
I think Carl Anderson's doing something not as intricate as EC3, but he's counting down the days too. But I still think not all of them, but I think a handful of them are going to be brought back once everything's level.
I think the producers will, which again, Ross, let me ask you this, because we talked about this on when we were talking about all the releases. I was shocked on how many producers there were.
They don't need that many. There's no reason to have that many. Do you? I'm not trying to be condescending. Do you understand do either of you know what a producer there does?
Don't they just like help the guys work through the match?
Yeah, more or less.
So there's like
it's like the bookers need this, and this to happen. You guys have your ideas that you like to do. You have this much time, so let's plot it out so you can hit these points just before the commercial. When you get back from commercial, you can hit these points, and this is how you go home. That is what they do. That's
about what I thought. So I'm like,
can't the talent just do that directly with like a writer? Like it's just
not only that, Russ, because I was thinking, I'm like, all right, let's just say these guys no longer are able to call spots in the ring anymore, which in some cases I think is true at this point.
Mm-hmm. I never could.
Russ, how many matches would you say happen during a regular Raw? Roundabout. I'm not going to hold you to it.
7 or 8, maybe.
Okay.
I know this week was an anomaly.
What?
They had like 11 matches this week.
All right, let's take the 11.
Okay.
All right, and let's say an agent definitely works more than one match, I assume.
I would think so. Like,
I would hope so.
it was always said
It's like a waste of money if they're not.
It would always say, like, Finlay worked with the women. So let's say you have 2 women's matches in a night. That's 2 matches for Finlay.
Right. Okay. So I had figured 3 for those 11 matches. 3 agents are needed. Do you think that sounds reasonable?
I don't see why not.
3 times the 3 shows. That's 9 agents. I think that the sweet spot that they should, as far as agents goes or whatnot, should be between 9 and 11 people. And I believe, Bill, and you could please correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like there's way that will be for the releases. There were way more than that.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, do you really need, in all honesty, that many people to do, to set up a match, produce the match, and put it out on TV? I think, but that's the problem with WWE is they all, and I think I read this the other day, like they had too many people working there. They overhired.
Sorry.
Before AEW even came into existence.
And that goes back to the whole micromanaging thing. Like you have one match, you have so many producers and so many writers. You really know who to talk to when you want to get something done. Some guys, the ones with enough pull, they just go straight to Vince and say, I don't like this, I like this, I want to do this. But there's just so many different people. I don't know. I don't understand the hierarchy structure there, but you get there's too many people there. Everyone has their input. It just becomes a mess.
Yeah. Whereas with AEW, they have a few people.
How many do they have now? Because now I'm wondering if they're overpopulated too.
Well, I doubt they are.
I really doubt it.
There's Billy Gunn.
Right. He's the first person I think of. I think Dustin kind of is at this point.
Arn Anderson.
Dean
Malenko, yeah.
So that's 4.
Jerry Lynn.
Oh, I didn't even think about Jerry Lynn. Is Tully?
Yeah,
I didn't know that Jerry Lynn was even part of the promotion.
I think 6 is a good enough number.
Yeah, for how much less talent they have.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even, I don't know, I feel like you could get rid of 2 guys, though. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. All right, let me open the floor to both of you if there's anything, because we kind of went through the topics I want to go through on this COVID-19 coronavirus. It could be pertaining to the virus itself, because, again, I actually had gone through the steps of the virus, or something wrestling-related in regards to things.
I haven't been following wrestling. So you said James, you said there's like 2 or 3 things on Raw that you are enjoying.
No, I said it within the whole WWE.
Okay. So what are those? If I were to next week decide I'll dip in, because I don't even watch really the highlights.
Well, the thing is, one of those, I don't know where it's going to go, because apparently they let go the writer of the storyline.
Otis.
And I already don't like what they're... I don't know if they did it... Well, I didn't watch this week, but I know last week, it already feel like... Sometimes on TV shows, when there's a showrunner change, it's not all the time, but sometimes you could be like, something about the show feels different now.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good and it's bad. Sometimes it's good. That's exactly how I felt last week with the Mandy Otis storyline.
Now, because isn't it becoming more about Mandy and Sonya and less about Otis?
I mean, it is, but see, here's what I was expecting and kind of hoping, to be honest with you. Like, what if when she called out Mandy, what if the twist was, like, she's like, well, I was doing all that because you shouldn't wind up with Otis. You should be with Mia. And it's revealed she's actually a lesbian.
Well, Sonya is.
She is a lesbian in real life.
Then why won't they do that storyline?
Maybe they don't want to. I don't know.
I mean, it's clear they don't want to. But Like now it's I don't know. It's just stupid now. Like I don't know. I mean, I'll still give it a shot. The other thing, what is the? I know there's at least one other thing on that whole product. I mean, they give out 15 hours of programming. It seems like. I don't know. What's the other thing? I gotta think. Please, no dead air. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
I'll tell you one
I'll
thing.
figure it out.
One thing that I've really enjoyed watching on Raw the last.
Oh, it's the Money in the Bank concept for this year. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, where they could go through Titan's
the
powers.
Yeah.
Those
are the two things that interest me. Right?
So do you want to see Vince like sitting at his desk on the phone while two people just brawl through his fucking room?
Well, I don't even want to see that. I want to see just an average show who's working on the computer and working on Excel, and all of a sudden someone smashes through the window. That's what I want to see.
Oh, they definitely have to do like a stunt window throw.
Well, I guess they can't do that though, because technically, I guess this is supposed to be filmed at night on a Sunday, and who's at a 9 to 5 job? Because I mean, everyone in that building, I assume, are actually employees.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
So right. So no one would be there.
What I said to somebody the other day, I would like to see for the beginning, have the secretary check for identification to make sure it is who they are, so they can go into the building and start the match. That
be like like how they used to do Rumbles, pulling the numbers. Like everyone arrives at the building at different times, and they have to go through security checks.
Yes.
Oh, and they also have to have a COVID-19 test.
Yes. God.
Oh, Russ, that's what I want to ask you. One of the big things that we talked about on the last episode of this series. I'm going to call it a series now, Bill. Yeah. Are you okay with that? Okay.
Yeah.
On this COVID-19 series.
Isn't this your show?
Well, this isn't officially like part of any kind of show, actually.
Okay.
This isn't we're not talking about the Royal Rumble, Russ.
I am now claiming ownership of this show. I'm okay with this being called
even though you weren't on the initial show.
Right.
The boss doesn't always have to be around.
Anyway, Ross, here's what I want to ask you. One of the things that annoyed me the most about the way WWE handled the COVID-19 thing is the fact they don't say COVID-19 or coronavirus. Because, in my opinion, I'm not a 5-year-old. I know what's going on. Acknowledge it.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
I get why they don't.
I
They want to be the escape. They don't want to remind people of the stuff that's going on in the real world. This is their world, and Vince doesn't like it when the outside world affects his world.
And Jim, what was the example I used last episode?
For this?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
9/11. Because
that's right.
Because Vince McMahon, like they were going to do the taping and then it got postponed and then they're like, well, we're going to do it Thursday. We're going to do a live show. And Vince, they mention it to a degree. Like they call it a terrorist attack, which it was.
Yes, sure.
And then, of course, how can we ever forget Stephanie McMahon comparing
this
to Vince getting acquitted from...
My God. You know what? Up until I was going to say that might have been like, that's got to be up there with like one of the worst things like that someone said in an interview format.
I wonder if Vince had
the only thing. I mean, you know what's funny? The other one that comes to my mind is it actually is Stephanie McMahon too. Do you remember what she said during the Benoit thing?
No, what did she say?
I don't know. I'm not going to say it exactly. So for if you don't remember, Benoit, they had the Benoit special before they actually knew that, the tragedy that was to be revealed. Mm-hmm. And what was her focus was for some reason like, okay, if someone passed away, you're like, oh, he was always great. And like he was always looking out for people. Like you usually migrate towards like what was so great about the person that passed. Stephanie McMahon was like, "Oh, it was so cool when he knew me and Hunter were together." Somehow she made it about her and her relationship with Triple H during that, if I remember correctly.
I'm gonna see if that video is up there.
I'm sure it's probably somewhere. Because I think she was saying like, oh, and like, people might have like said stuff about us, but again, I don't even know how much this is right, but people were saying stuff about us, but he was like, no, you guys are good together.
Okay, it is.
How did you make it about you?
I'm going to watch this when we're done.
Well, yeah, go watch it when you're done. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I do remember she definitely talks about the relationship with Triple H, 100%. During what's supposed to be, hey, say nice things about Chris Benoit. Ross, what
in her own way, I'm sure she thought she was being thoughtful.
Ross, what else would you like to bring up?
I beat Resident Evil 3.
I mean that.
I got my ass kicked.
Well, look, I'm just glad you beat a video game.
Yes. It's not looking likely that I'll be able to beat Celeste anytime soon because I'm dying. I have about 90 deaths per chapter. And then there was a mini game I played where I died, within an hour, I died 591 times. I am not exaggerating. I took a screenshot of that.
You should post it on social media and display that proudly.
I will. Hey, did you see the video I tagged you in?
I did see the video, but at some point, I don't know. I think I've been having some shady internet earlier today, so I was like, I'll watch this later on because I was
that is the mini game within Celeste. There was 30 levels, each of escalating difficulty, and that was toward the end of it. I had to do those 30 levels, and it took me an hour with 591 deaths.
By the way, since this is coming out on tonight, either tonight or tomorrow morning, quick shout out to Rowdy Ross, because I wouldn't have caught this. If you are a video game fan and like Pac-Man, the Pac-Man Championship Edition 2, I believe it is for free, and I have been loving it.
On the Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to add that. Bill,
not on Switch for some damn reason.
Bill, do you even know what Pac-Man Championship Edition is?
I think I'm going to have to check that out later.
It's like Pac-Man. Whoever created this shit had to be on something. I swear to God.
It's Pac-Man on steroids. It's not straightforward.
It's Pac-Man on acid.
There you
go. The fact that you just jump. Like, what? Okay.
You could jump in Pac-Man?
Well, what is it called? What is it called?
The bomb jump?
The bomb jump, yes.
Oh my gosh.
So the tutorial itself is a trip. There's different mazes. It teaches you all the different things you can do. And one of them is if you're still trying to clear the objectives, but you're trapped by ghosts, you can do a bomb jump, go back to the start, and kind of regroup, and then head back to what you were doing. But it's all within a regular Pac-Man maze.
Okay.
It's really fun. What, Bill, you have a PlayStation 4?
Yeah.
I forgot. Download it. You might like it. I don't know.
Also,
and they also come out with the music for it is like this really like kind of clubbish, techno-ish music.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know. I feel like that helps as well. Like it really gives the feeling.
I'm not sure if this is still for free unless they're like rotating free titles. But
well, I just got it yesterday.
No, I know the Pac-Man still is. What I'm saying is, as of last week, the Uncharted collection for PS4 was also free.
It is. You know what?
Not to mention on PlayStation Plus, Uncharted 4 is free. So as long as you pay for your PlayStation Plus subscription, you'll have that to play too.
It is, or at least as of last night, because when you told me about Pac-Man, I automatically went to PlayStation Plus and couldn't find it, but I did see Uncharted still there, and so I had to do a search to find Pac-Man Championship Edition.
So
I don't know how you
downloaded Uncharted 4, or did you also get the collection?
No, I didn't download Uncharted 4. I'm just saying.
Oh, you just knew it was there. Yeah, I know Uncharted 4 is with PlayStation Plus, but the game itself is for free to keep the collection of 1 through 3.
Right. All right, Bill, to get back on track here, what do you have to bring up wrestling-wise, if anything?
Well, a couple of things I want to bring up.
Please.
Something that I've really enjoyed as of late on Raw has been Zelina Vega on commentary. She is, I mean, I always knew she was good, but my God, she is so funny on commentary because she always has to sit next to Byron, and I feel bad for Byron. He's probably like the nicest guy in the world, but can't catch a break from anybody. And the way she talks to him and the others is so good. She's sort of like the whole body of character. She reminds me, she's like the female Bobby Heenan, where she manages like a wrestler but wrestles like a manager. And she's so damn good at it. That's the thing. She's so damn good at it. And like whenever one of her clients has been, has a match, she'll go to commentary at least once, and Jerry Lawler is like, "Oh, I apologize, Zelina, for how they're being, how rude they are," and it's just like Byron and even Tom Phillips tries to say something, and Zelina's like, "No, you are wrong. You are wrong. Let me tell you what is happening. My man, Austin Theory, he's out there, he's winning his match." And it's just so funny. It's entertaining to listen to. I mean, if only for those few minutes to watch Raw, that's like the highlight for me every week, the last few weeks.
Ross, your thoughts on the fact that Bill has compared Zelina Vega to Bobby Heenan?
I get the comparison because the Heenan's whole philosophy was manage like a wrestler and talk like or wrestle like a manager or whatever it was. In that respect, I get it. He's not saying she's as good as Bobby Heenan, but the same philosophy applies.
Yeah.
Like I haven't been watching, but I know she's pretty much all over the show because she has the 3 guys now, which I'm surprised Austin Theory and Angel Garza have stayed on the main roster. But I guess at this point, since they're local in Florida, they kind of have made do. But I was surprised that they let her keep that stable rather than just being Andrade again.
Garza, I think, should stay because he's been pretty good since he's come up. I'll agree with you on Theory, though.
I'm not going to really touch the Zelina Vega comparison to Bobby Heenan only because like as far as comparing it, like you said, how good she is on commentary or whatnot, because I haven't heard her. I'm strictly a SmackDown person on Fox, apparently.
Right.
But I will say this, without even hearing her, the big difference that I can already tell, and I know the same problem would be with or that was said was years ago with Stephanie McMahon, is Bobby Heenan, when he would start talking his shit, usually he would have his comeuppance. I don't feel like they're going to do that with Zelina Vega, nor did they really do it with Stephanie McMahon, at least in the last couple of years.
Well, I think it's going to happen eventually with Zelina.
With who?
Well, okay, let's go to WrestleMania, for example, with the Street Profits and Bianca Belair coming out. And then the next night on Raw, Zelina does the same thing again, and Belair comes to save her, or save the team, and then they have a match, and then they have, I think, a 6-man the next week.
But the issue was never, and maybe I'm wrong, but the issue was not with Belair ever until she decided to come on.
No, it wasn't. But you have.
Well, that's what I mean. Is because WWE doesn't do the man on woman thing anymore.
Right.
So therefore, just like Stephanie McMahon, there's never going to be a true comeuppance to that.
Right.
That's my point.
Right. No, I was
Ross,
just
your
saying
thoughts?
I was just saying in presentation.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, you got other topics as well. I'm excited.
I have one other, and I'm only bringing this up because I sell these on eBay, and they've actually brought me some money as of late.
Cheap plug here.
No. I'm
Oh, go ahead, Chuck. You can plug
all
eBay.
right. But anyway, the delay of action figures being shipped to people has been affected because of COVID-19.
Well, are they all made in I don't know, but probably overseas, obviously, but
Yeah, in China.
okay.
For WWE, theirs are. A couple of them were supposed to have been out this month, like early in the month. They got pushed back to late this month. So like the whole like line has been delayed, by a certain amount of time until
Due to the virus.
Yeah, because of the virus. Yeah. So it does have an effect to a degree, not only on the people that sell the stuff, but also the collectors, because there are people that do collect these action figures, and they wait a long time, and then it comes, and they buy them, and this is a market that I know not a lot of us are experts in. I just do it to sell and try to get some extra money, but it's having an effect right now.
Now, do you think it's like the fact that, and you're right, this is a good topic actually, even though I don't think any three of us really know or can consider ourselves experts on action figures, but this is interesting because do you think, well, number one, do you think that the fact that you can actually, you yourself have the ability to ship out and send to someone gives you the advantage, which is why you probably sold more, versus China, who they might say, we have no friggin' idea when you're going to get this, to be honest with you.
Right. Well, I know when I got the email, I got it from Ringside Collectibles. They're really a good site for those that are interested. It would be late April that I would get this package, and we're in the late April, and who knows, it could be a little bit longer. Plus, also, they're in New York State, the company is.
Okay.
Or the place that sells it.
Do you even know if they're open in New York State?
Well, I mean, I got an email saying that my package was on its way, so...
Okay.
So it's probably open. They're just being very, very careful right now.
I'm curious, and I want me and you to document this for the next time that we're on here. Okay. Will you get your package first, or will I get my humidifier first? Because my humidifier has been being shipped since I think probably when I was diagnosed. So probably around April 4th or 5th.
Oh, I'm gonna bet your humidifier comes first.
Okay, we'll see. I don't have much confidence in my humidifier at this point.
When I get mine, I will let you know that I got it on that day.
Okay.
I'll send you an email.
Ross, I know you don't know anything about action figures. At least I don't think you do.
I do. All I know from what you were just saying is, with the delay in action figures and losing his job, Zack Ryder is having a really bad week.
Yeah, but he's got Chelsea Green to cry on, so it's not really all that bad.
I suppose not.
So I have one more topic that I can think of here, unless, Bill, you have another one?
No, I'm good.
Okay, this is our last topic. So, during all of the COVID-19 stuff here, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm kind of surprised they even had to do this. There was a financial quarter report, wasn't there, Bill?
Yes, this week.
Can you pull that up and let's go over some of the highlights and lowlights?
Yeah, I'll go to Meltzer. Meltzer's
First off,
pretty good.
Ross, are you surprised that like this even has to be done during this time? Because I kind of am.
It's my understanding that by being a public company, companies are obligated to report their performances to the public because, you gotta, if the three of us were stockholders, they would need to tell us how it's performing, what our dividend payouts are going to be, what was the strength, yada, yada, yada. They need to disclose all that stuff as a result of being a public company.
But I don't even remember hearing, and maybe I'm wrong because of our eliminated podcast, what I'm really following is wrestling stuff, and I don't know any other publicly traded companies. Are other companies still giving reports? Do either of you two can name one company other than WWE that was like, yeah, we have to give a report today?
Not that I can think of.
Apple is expected to report its earnings on April 30th.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, all I wanted was one. That's all I wanted.
Okay.
You got it, Bill.
Yeah, I do have it. So, for the first quarter, WWE, which was only affected by COVID-19 for the last 3 weeks of the first quarter, took in $291 million in revenue and had $24 million in profits. That compares to last year at this time, where they had $182 million in revenue and $7 million lost in the first quarter. Wall Street had expected them to make $264 million in revenue and $19 million in profits for the quarter.
Okay.
Let's see, what else? Profit margin on the media division was $89.3 million compared to $16.3 from last year.
Russ, time out. Russ, what would you consider is the media part of things?
That is such a broad statement now. I would say like YouTube, network.
Okay. Well, no, I think they would say the network's different from the media thing because the network always gets its own little section.
So maybe I would say then YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, shit like that.
Okay.
All right.
Because that falls under, I believe the term is new media.
Even though at this point, Twitter,
yeah, I know.
Facebook, okay.
For someone like Vince, it's still new media.
I was going to say something and try to do a Vince voice and say something about it, but I can't think of anything. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I'm just...
God damn it, pal.
No, but no, in regards to new media, yeah, we just got involved in Twitter.
God damn it, I need tout.
Oh, my God. Tout. I forgot about tout. Who would have thought we'd look back at tout and have a laugh? Oh, my God. Okay.
Isn't that pretty much what tickers? Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh my! You know what annoys me? I'm going to tell you for whatever reason. I don't know why, but seeing these wrestlers do the stupid TikTok things annoys the shit out of me.
What, like that quick change?
Or they're dancing or some shit like that. I don't know what. It's like, I don't know. Maybe part of me is like, I want them to just like, I don't know, be wrestlers in my mind and not think of like, oh, they were dancing for no reason at all for like 15 seconds.
Trying too hard to be mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. I agree with that, Russ. All right, Bill, continue.
Okay. Live events lost $3.2 million.
Now, time out. Now, so is this because of COVID-19 or does this have nothing to do with that?
Nothing to do with COVID-19.
Okay.
As compared to losses of $200,000 during the same quarter last year.
Who wants to go when nothing matters?
Exactly.
Okay.
Consumer products revenue dropped from $20 million to $16 million, and the profit margin declined in that division from $5 million to $2.9 million. Other company spending based on all the added revenues, which would include salaries, expenses, and other corporate costs, increased from $27.9 million to $35.7 million.
Okay. Russ, do you want to chime in with anything? Feel free to, if you want to add something to anything.
People were looking at this to see like how everything's been affected. In 3 months, when they report the Q2 earnings, that's when shit's going to be bad because there will be no ticket sales for WrestleMania, no access, no nothing. Now they've also announced that the video game this year is canceled. That happened in Q2. So
yep.
I want to talk about that after this.
All
okay,
right,
that's something because that means both of our requirements of wrestling and apparently video games.
I'm almost done. Then I definitely want to get into the video game thing.
Yeah. It's.
Well, here, let Bill finish. Go
ahead.
Okay. Total live event revenue due to running fewer shows declined from $26 million to $17 million. Ticket sale decline in North America was from $24 million to $15 million. Ticket sales from the Saudi Arabia show were $210,000. Okay. House show merchandise dropped from $4.8 million to $3.2 million. Licensing revenues went down 18%. Or they went from $9.4 million last year down 18% to $7.7 million. The overall operating income was $53.3 million for the quarter as compared to a $6.8 million loss in the same quarter 1 year earlier. The company cut back on $140 million in spending that they planned to do regarding moving into the new headquarters, which is being delayed right now because of COVID-19.
So, Russ, so let me get your thoughts on what, outside of the video game thing right now, hit the rest of that report.
None of it's really surprising. Like I went to when was it? I went to a house show.
Probably during the holidays at this point.
Yeah, no, it was the December 26th MSG show.
Holidays.
It was, it was fine, but Madison Square Garden has always been goddamn Madison Square Garden.
Right.
They always used to do something special, and especially for the Christmas shows, it wasn't anything special. There was no cameo. Like you'd think maybe they'd fucking fly Shawn Michaels up or whoever. They didn't do anything for that.
Did you get a title change?
I got Andrade being Ray.
Okay.
So maybe that blasts my whole thing. But like other than that, and the crowd barely cared.
Yeah, I would.
It popped for the title change, and they cheered for the title change, even though it was the heel. But like, I'm thinking back of the 1998 house shows that I would go to.
Oh my
just
God.
So goddamn different.
Yeah, I remember I would buy the program and I'd be really excited to buy the program because they had the listing of all the matches.
And like,
they don't do that anymore, do they? Like
I think they do programs, but no, they don't have like a card.
Like it's just one single piece of paper.
Yeah. I remember being at the Raw where Matt Hardy came back against Edge.
I was there too.
Yeah.
My favorite though was September of 1997 Madison Square, the one that where Stone Cold stuns Vince.
You were there?
I remember, yeah, and I bought a program, and there was literally only one match on the program, and it didn't make. Remember, I'm a kid here still. It didn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry, two matches. No, I'm sorry, one match. The match that was listed on the program was Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker.
Oh.
And for those that remember that card, the main event on the TV was actually Bret Hart versus Goldust. So we knew that ahead of time. Like, wait, why is it say Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker? I'm so confused. Not only that, but also, as great as a memory of that is, probably felt a little gypped off. Probably my uncle did. Like, I bought a program for you, and it only has one match on it. Sorry, a little bit of a side thing.
But yeah, like, it's just not the same going there, and I know house shows have been going down for probably freaking years at this point. None of it's surprising, though. The number, the money that came in from the ticket sales to Saudi Arabia, for some reason that seems like a low number because it's like 80,000 seat or 60,000 seat fucking arena. Maybe that's the money they get. Like the Saudi government keeps however much, and WWE gets this much on top of the bajillion dollars that they get paid to be held hostage in an airplane.
Don't mean to cut you off.
What's
I'm
up?
looking on the history of WWE.com. Dark match after the taping is Bret Hart, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels.
No, I did see it, and it did happen. It's just
Right.
like, I was like...
No commemoration.
Yeah, like... And then I also went to for some reason around that same era, I feel like I went to a Madison Square Garden where Shawn Michaels fought the Brooklyn Brawler. I know it's true, I just don't...
I think that happened.
No, it definitely happened. I just don't know why I remember that so much either. Oh, probably because I was like, oh, the fucking Brooklyn Brawler is going to be might be world champion. Okay, cool.
Could be his day.
Right. It wasn't. Spoiler alert. Go ahead, Ross, continue.
It's not surprising to me that pretty much the numbers across the board are going down because they don't try anymore. At least that's how I feel.
No,
they don't.
I agree with that.
Like, especially now without the crowds, they're not going to throw away a huge. Like, let's say they have this huge idea, they're not going to do it now.
Well, let's look at just to kind of to reaffirm that in a different promotion. AEW was supposed to have blood and guts, and just to kind of real life here. I think, Ross, weren't you considering going? And I was like,
considering
maybe
yes.
if you go, maybe I'll go. Like,
right.
We were really thinking seriously about it, and now there's zero mention. And part of me is a little worried because I don't really think that, as much as I love AEW, I don't know if they can continue a build all the way up until whenever the hell things open.
Right, they're almost going to have to veer away from it to continue to, eventually Matt Hardy's going to have to feud with the MJF.
I really hope that Matt Hardy. I already hate that Matt Hardy's part of Team Elite.
Yeah, but yeah, they're going to have to let go of this current feud, play it out in a different format, and then regroup in 6 months and try to circle back.
Yeah.
I mean, especially the AEW fan base, the majority of them will forgive them for going back to it. If that's the match they want to do with the Elite versus the Inner Circle, I'm sure most of the fans will forgive them if they do like a 2 or 3 week build of, hey, remember this? Yeah, we're still doing that. Right.
No, I agree with you. Absolutely. Okay, sorry. Continue what you were originally saying.
They don't try anymore. Even if they have ideas, they're not going to do it now. But they haven't tried anything big. Like I feel bad not watching because you got Drew McIntyre as champion, you got Braun Strowman as champion. It's new stuff. They're at least doing something new. Braun Strowman, of course, is only doing it because Roman Reigns isn't wrestling.
Right.
But like. It's just not. Other shows I watch every week has like a cliffhanger, makes you want to watch. I've been watching Dexter. Never watched it before.
Don't get to the. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
We're just about to finish.
It's a good show.
I know. I know the ending. Everyone hated. About to finish the second season. It'll end on a fucking cliffhanger. Guess what? I'll keep watching.
Sure.
But they don't. It's just, it's like, it's not even as exciting as a fucking Power Rangers episode where the monster's going to get beaten at the end.
That's a great analogy, actually.
Yeah. Like, it's just.
I gotcha. And you know what the other thing is? Like,
I'm going to beat myself with a microphone.
I'd love to see that.
What?
The other thing is that not annoys me, but I kind of don't get, like, years ago they would do like they would do a house show, but they'd be like, it's Starrcade or something like that. But it's not like you get any new subscribers to the network, or if you do, very little for that. I just feel like the whole excuse me, the whole house show thing, not that it's passe, but I just don't think WWE really earns that much from it at all. And if so, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I don't see how. Like, they're obviously not selling out. MSG was not a sellout.
And I can tell you by going to New York for work every single day, they definitely had enough advertisements for it. My God, I did keep seeing advertisements for the MSG show. So it's not like, oh, well, people only went there because of word of mouth. No, you guys really tried on that one. You rented one of the probably most expensive things that you could have. Like, it was on the side of a major street down by Madison Square Garden, one of those big screens that, Russ, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's like basically like the equivalent to like 5 floors of a building, maybe even more, honestly. I saw it every single morning at one point. And then I left and saw it again. So, like, I know that they were trying.
Yeah, and I remember some time ago, this is a while ago, years, there was a similar report about house show business being down, yada, yada, yada. And Vince said something like they're aware that they're losing the business and that the house show interest is going down, and they have plans or ideas in place in order to turn that around. If that was a few years ago, and I just went to the one in December, I don't see what those ideas are. What is it? You know, giving out a care package to a kid that they pull out of the audience? Yeah, they had the Street Profits bring like shirts and posters and like a toy belt to a kid that they pulled out of the audience. Okay, cool, good for the kid, but like that one thing isn't one. You're not advertising that you're doing that, and that's not going to be enough to draw people in. Something's got to be exciting, and everyone at this point knows the only stuff worth a crap is going to happen on TV. If anything happens, it's going to happen on TV. House shows used to be the only thing that wrestling had,
right?
So occasionally something would happen. Now you have TV.
Well, here's the other problem, Russ. I'm going to see if you agree or not. The other problem is WWE has firmly, in my opinion, established that, hey, all these guys that you're watching every week, they don't matter. You know what matters? Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. And guess what? They're not going to be at the house show.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Brock was Brock at the house show? He might have been. I don't remember. But if he was, it was not a long match. Right. But yeah, they Roman barely gets that. Barely. If he even does still. And it'll be interesting to see where he's at when he comes back.
Well, that's let's transition to this. Is like, from what I've read, and Bill, please confirm or deny, because it does have to do with COVID-19 coronavirus, is apparently they've instructed the announcers to not mention Roman Reigns.
Yep, that is correct.
Now, I will say this. I agree with WWE on this. What is the advantage or what not to... What is gained from them mentioning Roman Reigns? And go ahead, I'll leave it to you two now.
Nothing would be gained if they kept bringing up Roman Reigns, because like if you got a little kid watching and he knows and he hears Roman Reigns, he's like, oh yeah, where's he? And he's not here this week. Like, out of sight, out of mind. They're not. I'm surprised they mentioned Sarah Logan last week. She's been fired. Yeah, there's nothing to gain by mentioning Roman.
Yeah, this is one of those WWE decisions I actually agree with.
I mean, at this point in time, Roman Reigns can't do anything because of what he has.
Right, he has a low immune system probably because of that.
And he also recently in an interview said that his wife is pregnant with twins.
His second set of twins,
His
by the
second
way.
set of twins.
Maybe he should leave it in his pants from now on.
Thank you. Yes, I agree.
Although his wife is good looking, I will give him that.
Do you think that this is going to be the thing that sours Vince on Roman Reigns?
Maybe.
I
Very
think so
well
too.
might.
The only thing he has going for him right now is I heard like The Rock's like, I'll fight Roman Reigns. And Vince will be like, oh, we can get The Rock out of this? Let's do it. Roman Reigns versus The Rock.
I mean,
Yeah, the Rock can get revenge for getting booed at the 2014 Rumble.
Right.
Or 2015. I don't remember.
whatever year it was.
Bill, it is the 2015 Rumble, and you should know that because
I
we've been
know.
doing a fucking show for a year
Come
and a
on.
half about
I
the
know.
Royal Rumble. Come on.
Come on, James. You just did a Vince voice. You gotta fire him in your Vince voice.
No. We still have like 2 episodes left to record.
Yeah. But
We
I
have
mean,
we have, both of them being the finale. By the way, let's give what's the did we even say this that the 1999 Royal Rumble's pushed back?
No, we didn't. Okay, so
Alright, got it.
basically, because we decided to do this today, excuse me, I had water. I drank water fast. We're pushing this week's episode back only till Tuesday, so it's still gonna pop up on your feed.
It's still a watch along.
Yes, it is a watch along of the 1999 Royal Rumble match. So instead of it being on Sunday, it'll be up on Tuesday.
Right. And the reason I would like to restate that we did it in a watch along format, because I thought WWE's countdown was bullshit on the 1999 Royal Rumble. So I wanted to test it, and that's why we did a watch along. As it turns out, they were more accurate than I thought.
Who knew?
Who knew? All right, Russ, continue what you were saying. Sorry.
I don't remember what I was saying.
Dale, continue
Sorry.
what you were saying.
Oh, we were talking about Roman Reigns.
Oh, Roman Reigns. Yeah. Russ, do you think this is the end of Vince's hard-on for Roman Reigns?
Without a backup plan, like the next guy in line, I don't see who that next guy would be unless it's Drew, and God forbid it's the fucking guy you just made champion.
Well, didn't he even say something like negative about Drew, or not directly? Oh, wasn't it like he was like, oh, well, we don't have Brock Lesnar.
Oh, yeah. The thing was like about why the Raw ratings were down is because the new superstars are like they're not working, and we don't have Brock Lesnar. Well, whose freaking fault is that?
Right, thank you. How do you feel about Drew McIntyre, Russ?
I like him. His personality came out of left field like 2 weeks before the Rumble, but I was perfectly okay with him winning. I think we've gone over this. I hated the way the Rumble played out, but him winning.
We got out of it. We did talk about it, but it will air still in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But the I'm glad he's the champion. I'm glad they went with someone new. I'm glad they're keeping him strong and not some like bitch champion that gets, beat up by Zelina's people every week. As far as I know, that's kind of his feud going on right now. Who is he defending the belt at Money in the Bank?
Yeah, it's going to be against Seth Rollins.
Okay. Which is fine. Keep Drew with Zelina's crew on Raw, but have Seth, ready to be the regular champion and not have them touch every fucking week like they usually do. So I'm okay with that. I think I said this. I'd be okay if I don't want Seth to win the title now, but down the road, if he's still doing the Messiah gimmick, I'd be okay with him being champion then. I still think he should do a collection plate. But I'm perfectly fine with Drew being champion right now.
Okay.
I stole his finisher when I was a wrestler, so it's the least I can do is support him.
Great. Bill, so do you have anything else to add to this before we go to 2K?
Well, the other thing Braun Strowman is Universal Champion, and
Bill.
Oh, sorry, the Brock Lesnar Memorial Champion.
Thank you.
It's like, I mean, I'm glad that Braun finally won the title. I am.
But to be fair,
it was they should have done it sooner.
Well, not only that, but it didn't matter, I think, at that point, who was fighting Goldberg. Whoever fought Goldberg was going to win.
Was going to win.
And
he's probably, and I hate to say this because I like Braun, I think he's going to end up losing it to Bray at Money in the Bank.
I think so, too.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
I've always been a fan of Bray.
He should have never lost to fucking Goldberg.
Well, it was Saudi Arabia. I mean, those...
Oh, is that what it was? It was so weird.
But that's just me.
I think, I had read that Goldberg just didn't want to lose, and I believe that.
I believe that,
because I feel like Goldberg's a piece of shit.
I would believe that, too. I want to be a role model for kids.
Oh, my
God. Snare.
Ross, what did you think of Goldberg? I feel like you're someone that also wouldn't like Goldberg because me neither.
Never liked him. I think it's laughable that WCW. I think it was proven that WCW was piping in chants even at the height of his popularity. I wasn't on the whole thing of he's just a Stone Cold ripoff.
Oh no, I never thought that either.
Yeah. I mean, the look could have been a little different, but whatever.
That was coincidence.
You know what my biggest problem was about him? I'm curious if it's yours because you, Ross, have trained as like a wrestler and actually did matches. In all the time that he has been, quote unquote, a top guy, he never cared to actually learn how to be better in the ring. And therefore, everyone who he fought was 100% in danger of getting injured.
He did the bare minimum. I'm sure he went through whatever drills he had to do, but his gimmick was his gimmick. His gimmick was spear, jackhammer.
But he also never learned to do it safely either.
Right, yeah.
Would you agree, Ross? And here we go. We're now talking about someone that actually trained in pro wrestling, Rowdy Ross here. Would you agree as a wrestler that one thing that maybe you were told or maybe you just kind of observe is you're supposed to, when you have a match with your opponent, that it's supposed to feel like both of you are taking care of each other and that you guys are supposed to you're not looking at, the point is you're not supposed to hit people for real. It's supposed to be that you put on a great match or as best as you can for the audience. This isn't a shoot fight.
Right.
Correct. And obviously the big example is what he did to Bret Hart. And I'm sure there was other injuries, but Bret Hart is the most notable one. It's supposed to look like an actual fight. You're not actually supposed to hurt the person. The most recent example of the worst possible thing is the jackhammer to either The Undertaker or to Bray Wyatt himself, because the Bray Wyatt one was pretty much just a high hip toss, which I'm not entirely sure that Bray didn't sandbag him a little because of everything, but I can't prove it. I don't know. But yeah, like the Undertaker one, I don't know what. I think, isn't that the Undertaker jackhammer? Isn't that the one where he knocked himself loopy on the locker before the match?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then he gets Undertaker up, supposed to be able to hold him for a split second, let him set himself. So yeah, that's why either you do a snap suplex or the standing vertical. You give him a second to regain his bearings, and then you finish the move. Undertaker, he almost brainbustered him without knowing it was supposed to be a brainbuster. Undertaker was expecting to land on his back, not the back of his fucking head. And it's been a while since I watched it, but that was maybe the ugliest damn thing I've ever seen.
I think I saw it, actually.
Yeah.
I remember because someone in work was like, ooh, you need to check out this Goldberg Undertaker match. And then, he brought up that there was like a concussion. I was like, all right, fine. Even though I hate Goldberg and I hate the fact that the Undertaker's wrestling in 2019, I'll watch it, sure. And I actually did see that match.
And here's another example. Okay, they're older. Undertaker maybe didn't get the jump. Goldberg was concussed. Fine. 2003. There's a clip on YouTube, and this is maybe some DVDs of a beer bash between Austin and Goldberg after a Raw. And this was when Austin was doing the sheriff thing, so he's working with Bischoff. Bischoff's in the ring with Goldberg and Austin. Goldberg goes to jackhammer Bischoff. Bischoff's not a wrestler, but he can at least jump to where Goldberg should be able to get him up safely and get him down safely. Goldberg dropped him and corked him in such a weird way, they actually had referees go in there to check on Bischoff.
Oh, my God.
Because he almost hurt, I don't know if Bischoff had any power at that point, but he almost hurt another coworker. Right. And this was after the show, too. So maybe he was drinking too much beer with Austin. I don't know.
I just think Goldberg's just dangerous.
Yes.
And that's probably the highlight for me of Goldberg's career was having people walk out on him on the Hall of Fame. Okay. Let's get to this video game talk, because I know that we're running close to 2 hours here. As you mentioned, 2K... would it be? I guess it would be
21.
Yeah,
21.
I always get confused about that shit. Okay, thank you. 2K21 was announced by who, Russ?
I think WWE's come out, but I think Ryan Satin or Bob Sapp.
We kind of knew about this like a few weeks ago, though, right?
Yeah, the rumors were started, but it has been officially said. But I believe, and I know this is by the time this recording comes out, I think 2K has said they will have an announcement this coming Monday, so that would be April 27th. They will have an announcement of what the off-brand game is going to be, because there will be a WWE game this year, just not a 2K21. So I'm hoping for like All-Stars 2 or something.
Yeah, All-Stars wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was fun.
So let me ask you this, Russ, because I'm sorry, Bill, like I know that you're not as much as in the video game stuff as me and Russ are. So that's why I'm asking this directly to Russ. Is, do you recall, Russ, any other time that a video game has said, no, we're not coming out with a game, and it has been met with such positivity?
No, off the top of my head, no. Like when it became a yearly thing, it would eventually.
It's always been a yearly thing, though.
Has it?
In the SmackDown versus Raw era, because there was definitely a 2005, 2006, 2007, I think all the way up to a 2009. Which would make sense, because that's when you would use the 2K10 bullshit.
Right. But I'm saying, like, dating back, N64 didn't have yearly wrestling games, did they? No. Well, though the development cycle was probably a lot quicker back then, so that's part of it. But also, yeah, that's even more of it. Like, the hardware is so much more involved, and eventually trying to get out a yearly game was going to crack. I don't know how well Madden and the MLB games hold up.
Well, I know the NBA game is doing fine. Like, people are freaking hyped when the free, I think they offer like a free demo on PlayStation. They were hyped about the two, and I've played NBA 2K. I don't know what year, but I was like, you know what? If I was a basketball fan, I'd be really into this. And it's amazing that WWE cannot do the same thing.
Yeah, it's like people will like the simulations for a basketball, a baseball, a football. I don't prefer as simulated for wrestling, because like Did you count like No Mercy as a simulation?
Not really.
Yeah, no, it was more fun.
Right.
SmackDown, even when that series first started, it was more arcadey and more fun. It tries to be so intricate with the mechanics and everything. It's a lot less fun.
It's more realistic.
Fuck that. Wrestling itself isn't realistic.
Thank you. Yes.
And some wrestling goes too far into the unrealistic, and that's where I break off with AEW. But I want some ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Boneyard match. If I don't have a boneyard and fucking Firefly Fun, well, I don't know how you pull off a fire. If I don't have a boneyard match in whatever this next 2K game is, I'm going to be pissed.
So my question then to you, Russ, is like, but first off, you didn't really answer me.
I never do.
Like, okay, here's an example that was The Last of Us, which I know both of me and you like.
Yes.
Was pushed back until an unknown date, right?
Yes.
What would you say was the reaction to that?
Oh my God, people were pissed. And the creator, Neil Druckmann, the head creator, whatever, he on the original like February date before it was pushed back to May and then pushed back again. On like one of the dates that it was supposed to come out, he was like, I feel like I was supposed to do something today.
Oh,
yeah, he's kind of a dick like that.
what an asshole. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it was supposed to come out like early April. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, there was a date and he tweeted about it. But now that it's completely off the radar, people are like, why not just release it to digital, which is an option, but I prefer physical. If it just came out digital, I might suck it up, but I don't know what the holdup is. Maybe they can't make the discs in time or something.
Sure. My point here is that so people were not happy about that, and I know that there's definitely like I like certain games more than you. I'm a big RPG person, and I remember when Kingdom Hearts 3 constantly got pushed back, there was always anger. And when Final Fantasy VII was originally supposed to be released in, I believe it was March 20th, and then that got pushed back, anger. I cannot think, again, and I'm curious, I don't think you can think of one either, Russ, where everyone was so happy that a game was a pushback / canceled.
No, never. Like
it's unheard of.
Breath of the Wild was pushed back at least 3 or 4 times over the course of like 3 years. Yeah, no, people don't get happy for video game delays. They'll be happy with the end result, but never with the delays, because it just means I have to wait this much longer.
Right.
But after the disaster of 2K20, which I never played, I think you have my 2K19 still. Or
do I? Okay.
I don't fucking know.
I haven't played it.
I've lost track.
If that's the Daniel Bryan one, it's because I can't get past the first friggin' thing of his story.
Yeah, and those story modes, like, I don't play the matches. It's like, okay, what do I got to do now? I would knock the guy over the top rope, got it. Hit him with a chair outside, got it. Roll him in
I
and
have tried so many times. And what happens, I even watch tutorials, and I'm like, why doesn't it do this for me? Like, you have to do it in a certain way. And I was like, fuck it. I know Daniel Bryan's career. I don't need this. And then I stopped.
Yeah, and that's part of the making it so intricate, where if you're standing at the side of the guy, you expect him to, like, grab his arm and throw it down. But if you're a little too high, it'll sit him up. Or it's just there's
the other thing that killed it. The other thing that kills it, Ross, is that the fact that they all of a sudden now are really big into loot crates.
Yeah, well, that's everyone at this point.
Not in regular video games. In mobile games, sure, I agree with you. I mean, I am playing WWE Champions, which is actually pretty fun. But I don't feel it's as annoying as the loot crates in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Which I also just started Disney Heroes, which also does that. And again, it doesn't feel as annoying. Like I was able to recruit Woody from Toy Story for no money, you know? So what do you think with this new time, and this is where I'm getting at with this whole topic, since they're not releasing something, do you think the effort will now go to, like, I don't expect a new fighting system. I think people are dreamers when it comes to that. But do you think that there will be some kind of mode change because of this? Or do you think, oh, we're just getting the same old shit, it's just since we have more time, we can make sure it doesn't glitch?
Well, yeah, I think 2K22 or whatever it becomes, I don't know. I don't think they're going to veer off. Maybe this is going to be their opportunity to make the second, this maybe arcade game, All-Stars or whatever it becomes. Maybe they'll have two running concurrently. So, they'll have their yearly sim 2K20 whatever, and then they'll do the goofy shit over here and see which one's more popular.
All right, Bill, I know that you're not a video game guy, as much as me or Ross at least. Do you want to chime in here on what you know and I guess your thoughts on the fact that, because I believe the one thing that is historical about this is the first time in many years that the WWE has not come out with a main video game.
Yeah, that's very true. When I was listening to you guys talking about, like, the pre-orders and then, going back, it reminded me to when I was 14. And I had gotten the pre-order for WWF Attitude.
Oh, God.
For the PlayStation.
I like the Attitude. I would play as Mosh.
So it was like, the day, I remember this so well, like, the day it was supposed to come out, I go with my mom, and they're like, we don't have it. They told us it's going to be a little bit longer. Then I think we called like a few weeks later, and it was like, they said it's going to be a little bit longer. And it wasn't until like the third or fourth time where it was like, okay, we finally got the game, and we just got out of there as soon as we could of the house to go get the game. But, thinking back to, people being happy about this game not coming out, which I understand, because I had heard a lot of people say last year's game sucked, and I honestly believe them. I've only heard like maybe 2 positive reviews that they were from my friends, so I'll just take the word of the majority. But I was thinking of, like, if Madden ever got canceled for a year, because I have friends who play Madden a lot, and they are just so unhappy because it's the same thing year in, year out. They never change anything. They never update anything. And if they were to cancel, like a year, I would imagine the reaction to that would be bigger than the reaction here for WWE 2K not having a new video game this year. So, in my mind, I'm imagining what the reaction could be, when the day comes, because I do think it's going to happen. Not this year, but maybe down the line, where, Madden doesn't have a year of football. I think it might be as big or bigger, but there are going to be those that are going to hide it because they don't want the people to know, like, oh man, this game really sucked. When they've probably been lying to people, go like, yeah, it's been good. So,
when does Madden usually come out?
About
Do you have any idea?
July or August.
You know what? You might get that news that there's no Madden this year. I mean, we're pretty close to. I mean, they would have had to be working on the finishing touches around right now, probably. So, I'm interested now in hearing if Madden gets pushed back. But yeah. All right. So let's start heading out here. Ross, why don't you give some plugs of guests? I know you give plugs on what you're playing, so go ahead. We know you're playing Celeste. We know that you're playing friggin' go ahead.
All right, so lately I've been playing Celeste and 90 deaths per chapter and the whole 591 goddamn. Never mind. Ukulele, I played the demo. Ukulele and the Impossible Lair. It's made by a few people from the old Rare. And I say old because the same people that are in Rare and Microsoft now are not the same people that were making the Donkey Kong games. These are the people that are making the Donkey Kong games, and they the Ukulele and the Impossible Lair. It's a 2D side scroller, very reminiscent of the Donkey Kong Country Returns games.
Okay.
Very enjoyable. There's only like 3 levels in the demo on the Switch, and I like it. Tomorrow's my birthday, so knock on wood. But the next time I'm on here, I've been playing Ukulele for months and still haven't beat it. So there's Celeste, there's Ukulele. I
was really hoping you would say like Ukulele was like the equivalent of Guitar Hero, except you're playing a ukulele.
Yes, I've mastered it. I can't get the pinky string down though. I keep missing those notes.
Yeah, what song is the hardest? Probably a Nicki Minaj song.
Tiny Tim level.
I was gonna say Tiny Tim Somewhere Over the Rainbow. But no. And when I'm feeling daring, I'll probably give Resident Evil 3 another go if I don't mind the anxiety attacks.
Hey,
I played it on normal mode. I didn't play it on easy though.
But listen, was your wife proud of you that you at least beat a game?
Yes, she was very proud of me. And she beat Animal Crossing, which I didn't even know there was end credits.
You can't beat Animal Crossing. You just get the credits when KK Slider does it. I'm sure she still owes on her house.
Well, yeah, clearly, but she hasn't played it.
I don't consider anything beating Animal Crossing, to be honest with you.
Have the Doom guy show up and murder everyone.
How dare you? You leave my. Well, no, you could have Prince because fuck him. But all my other guys, you better leave alone. All right. Any other video game stuff or no?
No, not off the top of my head.
All right. I just hope you're able to complete Resident Evil 3. Right? 3's the one you didn't finish.
Well, no, that's the one I beat, but I might play it again.
Oh, but what's the one you didn't beat?
I haven't beat Celeste.
No, I thought there was another Resident Evil you didn't beat.
I beat the first half of Resident Evil 2. I didn't bother with the second campaign because it's so much shorter and shittier.
Okay. Bill, what do you got going on? Wait, I'm sorry. You're usually last.
Yeah, I'm usually last.
Plugs. You're usually last. Okay, for me, of course, we have that's podcasting.com. Little by little, I am adding the archives to now that's what I call podcasting on the website, as well as I think is an appropriate fit to Spotify. I think it's only right that a music podcast is on Spotify. So right now you can check that out. I've posted 1 and 2. Next weekend will probably be Now That's What I Call Podcasting 3. Bill was on Now That's What I Call Podcasting 1.
Yes.
But even though that was the case, technically Now That's What I Call Podcasting 3 was the first one recorded because at the time, Kenny Pickett had a limited schedule. Kenny Pickett, who did the music of Shikara. Do you know if he actually still does any music in Shikara?
I'm not really sure. Let me check.
While you do that, Now 3 is a very interesting one to me because of that being actually the first recorded one. We have Eliminated. We have a 1999 Royal Rumble Watch Along coming in a few days. And that's pretty much it for me. Just check out the latest stuff on that'spodcasting.com. Bill, why don't you give us an update on Kenny Pickett, and then we'll head out of here.
Well, let's see. Let me check his Twitter real quick.
Because I haven't talked to him probably since this episode.
I know.
It's weird because the way I'm doing this, guys, just kind of out of the box thinking, out of the box learning here is I contact all these past guests when their episode's about to re-air because I put it on a drive, and I haven't emailed Kenny Pickett yet. I hope he still has the same email address.
Yeah, you better hope he does too. Well, actually, let me check. I'm on his website, so.
That's right, he does have a website because he came out with albums at the time.
Yeah, his.
Which is probably why he did it, to be fair.
Yeah, so if go to KennyPickett.com. I think they put out like another one or two after we had done the previous set of Chikara albums. I'm not sure if he still does them or not, so maybe when you talk to Kenny, if he replies back, he'll give you an answer. So
right.
All
right, Bill, send us out of here.
Yeah,
Give
let's
your
get
plugs
out of here. Check out my podcast, That Wrestling Show, each and every Friday. This week, we actually, myself and my co-host Fro, we ranked our 5 favorite heels of all time. And this coming week, we're going to rank our 5 favorite faces of all time. So, want to check that out. That Wrestling Show. Find it wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, Tuesday will be the new day for Eliminated of Royal Rumble Podcast 1999 Watch Along. And we will be back sometime soon to do another episode of Wrestling and the COVID-19 virus. Have a good evening, everyone.